Hi guys, hope you're good. Fish says hat of the stream. I was expecting that. Score out of 10 for this hat. You like it? You not like it? I'm quite undecided. Derwood says, hello champion family. How are you? How goes the cleaning and unpacking? I think you were getting to the end of the cleaning last time. And I think you said the unpacking is going to be another month, but I hope... Fucking But I hope the unpacking is progressing well. Give me a second. Edit says yo fish, and also yo. How you doing, Edit? Hope all's good with you. I think that should be working. Fingers crossed. They've kicked off here. Newcastle. No, it was Wolves that had the chance, but it was saved. Timer. Where's the timer? I might need like a second screen at this point. 0, 1 minute 15. So happy football is back. Yeah, me too. So happy the proper football is back for another month at the very least. Newcastle got a chance. Ooh, Newcastle have gone down, but no foul. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow we got two big games: Liverpool, Brentford, I think, and Man United, Man City. So that should be good. I've also changed the comment thing to white and red. Let me know if that's coming up okay, or if it's too small or people can't read it. I'm hoping it should be okay, but I figured apparently I can tweak it, which I didn't know. So I've been playing around with it. But yeah, let me know if that's okay. Edit says me too. Fish says hi, which is new, which is a positive from Fish. Fish says I'm Sigma. I'm not too sure what that means. You did make me look it up a few weeks ago. So I did used to know what it means, but I don't know what it means anymore. You'll have to remind me. Dave says Arteta out. I want him out. Didn't you win today? Didn't you win like 3-0? Was it not a good performance? I didn't see. I think Zubamendi scored 2, and I think Gyökeres scored 1. Was it just the manner of the performance that you didn't like? Edit says Newcastle easy win. I think they're easy-ish. I think they'll probably win about 2-0. But Wolves have been quite terrible this season, so you might be right about calling it easy. Done with cleaning, only have a couple more boxes to unpack. Got a lot done with no football. Yeah, it always helps. Certainly always helps. As you were saying, you pick the best week to move, because you can just concentrate on what you need to do. Fish says, why you put Gordon on cover? He's still suspended. You should have put Tonali. Yeah, fair point. The real reason is I copied and edited the last Newcastle one, if you know what I mean. So there was like another Newcastle one a few weeks ago. So instead of creating a whole new cover from scratch, I copied the old one and then I edited it, and then I took out the away team and I put Wolves in. That's the 100% correct reason. How long is Gordon suspended for? Because he seems to be out for a while. Burnley, that's it, yeah. Hans says, please tell me Elanga starts. The team sheet was just a prank. I can have a quick look for you. I've not seen him. I can see Voltamade and I can see Jacob Ramsey. I can't see who's on the left. Where is it? No, Elanga's on the bench. That is weird. That is peculiar. Are you doing both games? Yeah. I was unsure if I was gonna have time. But I managed to do this morning what I needed to do. So yeah. I think the Liverpool game's at 2, and I think the other one's at 4:30. So it should be okay. I might run off in between just to get a quick snack, but yeah, it should be okay. The red is a little hard to see. Okay, interesting. I'll see if I could fix that during. Actually, no, I should be able to fix that quite quickly. Give me a second. Where is it? That should have fixed it. I'll maybe try changing it to I might try changing it to black for next time. Okay, let me make a quick note. Okay, I've changed it to black. It might update itself. If not, I'll fix it for next time. Edit says Arsenal still trusting the process. they'll be trusting the process until he's gone. I think. What process are they trusting at this point? Is it the process of kind of repeatedly failing year after year? Is it the process of misery? Is it the process of disappointment? I just don't understand. I mean, the same thing's gonna happen. The same thing's gonna happen this year. That happens every single year. Things are gonna start off positive, and expectations will be very high. Eventually, nothing will be achieved, and then it will be the usual nonsense that we have to listen to. It's weird. Arsenal are weird because they have lots of very good players. They've got ownership who's willing to spend. I think it's just a manager who's unfortunately not up to it. Exactly, edit. They played Tottenham 2.0. Big Ange was a mistake. Yeah, is that the you can tell I've been out of it today. was that the Arsenal Forest game? I saw it was 3-0, but was it fair? Was it equal, or was it a representative 3-0? He's out 3 games. Makes sense. Fish says, should we sign Asnar now for 300,000? Is this the one that you keep going on about on my posts? I mean, if you think he's good enough, then maybe he's someone we need to consider. 300,000 seems very low, though. That seems very cheap. Like, what makes you think he'd be 300,000? 300,000 doesn't get you a player's ear these days. So I'm surprised that's the fee. Edit says, bro, Newcastle has no use for the oil money. Nobody except yeah. There's that aspect, and there's also their kind of PSR concerns. I think they're only really allowed to spend, like most teams, they're only kind of allowed to spend what they bring in. So that limits kind of what they can spend their oil money on. I think financially they're the richest club, but if you can only spend a fraction of that, it's kind of pointless. Fish loves me. I appreciate that. That's kind of what I was going for. I've changed that red to black now, as you can see. Is that black? any better on the name bit? Dave says, don't let that Madu AK performance fool you. He's still a scrub. Again, I didn't see the game. Did he? I'm presuming he had a good game, but you think generally speaking, he's not the one for you. To be honest, I'm surprised that you bought him. I don't think he's very good. I mean, Wolves are dominating this game so far, which is surprising. But yeah, I think the Madu AK trajectory will probably be a loan in a year, in 2 years, and then probably some other team. Edit says, bro, Premier League should put second place cup at this point. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal would win it every year, I think. In that case, it'd also be kind of lame. Imagine that, getting a cup for second place. Like, would you even want to lift that cup, and would you even count it as part of your honours? Maybe that should be the test. Maybe they should create a second place cup, and if the team who finishes second place actually celebrates it, then they should be punished. That seems the best approach. Fish also loves himself, which is good to know. Dawood says, I'm surprised Elia is on the bench. I was looking forward to seeing him play. Yeah, he's gone to Villa, hasn't he? That is quite surprising. I appreciate they have Morgan Rogers, but yeah, looking forward to seeing him play as well. Hopefully it's just a fitness thing, I guess. I presume. He didn't play much in pre-season, so I hope it's a case of that. I hope it's a case of they're just gonna gradually bring him up to speed, and then he'll be in the team. It would be exciting for the second place trophy, even though I think City or Chelsea will get it. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, like my predictions. I think Liverpool will get first, but it wouldn't surprise me if City came second. It's just kind of too much of a kind of easy prediction to always say. Because I typically I find whenever these kind of pundits do predictions, they just copy whatever happened last year. They very rarely kind of use their brain to say, you know what, maybe Arsenal won't get second, maybe City will, or maybe Chelsea will. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either of those. Edit says, EA did Messi's rating in FC 26 bad. What is it? What is the rating? You'll have to let me know. Abdul says, is that a real Gucci cap? It absolutely is not. But it looks vaguely real, but no, it's not. But yeah, hope you're doing good, Abdul. Dan says, big match in Italy, 5 p.m. Juve versus Inter. Very nice. Well, what are your predictions for that, Dan? Probably an Inter win, or is that a ridiculous prediction? How you doing, Pixel? Hope you're good. Hope all is well with you. I've added a new piece of Dragon Ball thing to the shelf. And I've got another one coming. I appreciate that, Abdul. Ikram says, you're always enjoyable. Well, you are even more enjoyable. Tachi says, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Something about a family of 4 and it being £50 per person. I don't think I've ever gone on a Jet 2 holiday. I think I have gone on a Jet 2 plane, but I've never done an official Jet 2 holiday. So I couldn't confirm for certain if anything beats it or not. Yeah, that's the thing. Some of them had Liverpool at 6th last season. Because quite often they do these predictions, whether it's Sky, whether it's BBC, whether it's ESPN, and a good 70% of the predictions that they're touting as a piece of tactical insight are literally the same finishing spots as last year. I'm like, what? It's like, oh, here's Alan Shearer's prediction, and Alan Shearer says it's gonna be Liverpool first and Arsenal second and Chelsea third and whatever. And I'm like, that's not that. There's no insight in that. I prefer it when someone takes a risk and says, okay, you know what? I think Chelsea will get second. That's a lot better. Dan is a Juve fan, Serie A wise. Good stuff. Pixel is watching the Palace. Nice. You'll have to keep us updated on how that's going. Fadti says here it's Fadti. What does depuis mean? Is that in? So you're saying here it's fatty in France. I'm 32 years old and I need a serious relationship. I think that's correct. I think besoin, that means need, I think. So ici means here. Say means it is. Fadti is just your name. I think depuis, I can't remember what depuis means. It must mean inside France. I've 32 years and I need a serious relationship. Good luck with that, I think. AR says lol. Derwood says hey Pixel. Fish says how good is Alex? That particular Alex, we signed him on a free because we desperately needed a third place goalkeeper. I don't think he ever played, to be honest with you. Don't think he ever played. Harry says, hello, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Been busy as always. But yeah, all good. How's things with you? We need to play Call of Duty again. Maybe next week or something. But yeah, hope things are well with you. Pixel says, hey, my man just got lined up. Beard looks good. Thank you. Actually dyed it. To be honest, like I always trim it, but you can never tell because it's normally so patchy. There's normally like so many grey spots in there. And the thing is, the grey spots annoy me. Like, I'd rather it was fully grey or like fully white. The spots just annoy me. So then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to dye it. Edit says, we getting Kanate and a free transfer. I think you are, yeah. I mean, he's a good defender. He is a good defender, I can't lie. Is he the best defender ever? No, but he's good. And for a free transfer, you can't really complain. Corner here. Corner for Wolverhampton. I can't lie, Wolverhampton have been having all the chances so far. Fish says, oh no, it's Harry. Harry's your bestie. Pixel says, hey. Ben says, where are you from, brother? I'm from UK, England. How about you? Abdul says, do you cut your own hair? Yeah, I mean, it's easy. I just kind of shave it all off. Simple. I've got like my own razor thing, and I just do it pretty quickly. Bournemouth 1, Brighton 0. Interesting. Who scored for them? How you doing, Jaden? Jaden says, Isak goal tomorrow. There's a possibility. There's a possibility. To be honest, I'm 99% sure he's going to be benched because he's not fully fit. But equally, I presume he's going to be the first. He's going to be the first sub. So I think he'll get 20 minutes. So there's a chance of it. Abdul says, if Kanate leaves, Liverpool need 2 centre-backs. I think you're right, yeah. I think you're right. Because if you think about it, right now, we've got Van Dijk, who's 35. And I'll leave that to the side for a second. But we've got Van Dijk, who's 35. We've got Leone, who's 18. So we've got both ends of the scale. And then we pretty much just got Kanate. So right now we've got 3 senior centre-backs. And I know we got Joe Gomez, but that's a whole other story. But right now we've just got 3 senior centre-backs, which means that we're already down 1. And kind of as Abdul is saying, if Kanate also goes, then we'll only have 2 senior centre-backs. So I think you're right. I think Mark Gahey will be one at the very least. But yeah, I'd hope for a second. Because the last time Liverpool went with 3 senior centre-backs, they all got injured. Was it 2020? Was it that year? It was the year after winning the league, wasn't it? Where Lovren was sold. And we said, you know what? I think we'll be all right with 3 senior centre-backs. And then Van Dijk got Pickforded. Joe Gomez got England. And Matip just got Matiped. So yeah, I think 3 senior centre-backs is a bit short. We need we need one more. Potential red card in this game, but I don't think they're going to give it. How good was Danny Pacheco? Very highly rated. I think we stole him from Barcelona. Everyone was super excited about him, and then it just didn't quite work out. Derwood says, hi, I've changed the the header on the messages. I've changed that to black now. Is that easier to read now compared to the red? Or is it still a bit hard to read? Let me know. I'm hoping that will be a bit better now. Christian says, hi, buonasera. How are you, Christian? I hope all is well in Como and Italy. Abdul says, if Van Dijk gets injured, we might struggle. Yeah, to be honest, not even might. I think we'll definitely struggle. Because if Van Dijk gets injured tomorrow, let's say, for argument's sake, we then have Konate, whose mind seems to be in Madrid, if you think about it. Last few games, he hasn't really been concentrating particularly well. Last few games, he has made a couple of mistakes here and there. So if Van Dijk gets injured, we have Konate, who looks like he's half asleep, and we have an 18-year-old. So that would be absolutely the worst case scenario. I'd rather any other player get injured than Van Dijk right now, because I think in every other position there is a abundance of cover. There's multiple players off the bench who can come on or fill in and at least put in a good performance. Whereas with Van Dijk, I don't think that's the case. Van Dijk has no cover or no redundancy. I'd rather Salah get injured. I'd rather Isak get injured. I'd rather anyone get injured than Van Dijk. Alex Scott scored. Very nice. I'm not quite sure what this means. Fish says, Turkey is a calm roommate. Also, Anne, that should be a bit strict, indeed aggressive. As you were reading something, a storybook, which makes you felt a more sense into your... Is that like... Have you copied and pasted that from somewhere? I mean, you probably have, but even then, it doesn't make sense. It's missing like prepositions and it's missing verbs. Edit says, I think Liverpool should sign Araujo or Alaba. Araujo, yeah. Depends on the price. Depends on the price and the kind of availability. Is there a reason you want to get rid of Alaba though? That's what I would ask. As a replacement for Konate. Excited about how Kolo Muani will do with Spurs. Also Xavi Simons. Yeah, I mean Spurs have made quite a few signings this summer. So I am also excited and intrigued to see how they all fit in. I mean, they got Kudos as well, didn't they? So they've got, a bunch of new signings with a new manager as well. Yeah, to be honest, I might start watching a bit more of Spurs. Just to kind of see how they do. Christian's doing good. Good to see. Ikram says, which formation gives the best balance between creativity, verts, and structure? McAllister. The best balance would probably be a 4-2-3-1, because that would mean 6-ish at the back and 4-ish at the front. So in terms of balance, that would be relatively kind of equal. Yeah, I'd say perhaps a 4-2-3-1, but in that too, McAllister would kind of push forward a bit if needed, I think. Fish says, "How good was Hansen? How old do you think I am, Fish?" To be honest, I've never really I never saw Alan Hansen play. I started watching in the 90s when I was maybe like 4 or 5 years old. So Hansen was a bit before my time. With that said, he's very highly rated. He's very highly thought of. He's considered a legend. I'd be interested to know whether people think Hansen's the best Liverpool centre-back of all time or whether it's Van Dijk. But I think just to be in that conversation shows you that you're dealing with someone who was at a very high level, not a Jimmy Traore type of guy. Fish is telling me about the Ottoman Empire. Very interesting. Pooh says, is it Pow or is it Pooh? Probably Pooh, based on the picture. Says, make heart, please. I can't remember the new way to do it. Isn't the new way to do it like that or something? That's like the new way to do it, right? Edit says, I think Chelsea first, Liverpool second. It's because you flipped the second and the third. I'm getting confused. Okay. So Chelsea first, Liverpool second, City third, fourth Spurs, I think. Yeah. Your prediction, maybe Liverpool won, but I like Chelsea a little bit more due to, Liverpool-Madrid rivalry. I mean, fair enough. And I think equally that prediction, it's fine. Like I see the logic behind it. Like it's not crazy. So I think Chelsea could get first. Liverpool could get second. City could get third. Yeah, Spurs could get fourth. Maybe Spurs fourth might be a bit challenging. Maybe Arsenal fourth, but it's not outside the kind of realms of possibility. Somebody the other day, I can't remember who it was, but somebody the other day was saying Man United are going to get fourth, and I was like, no, it's not going to happen. Yeah, Ikram remembers. Yeah, there's no chance Man United get fourth. Abdul says, do you rate the Liverpool bench? I think in general, generally speaking, there is a sufficient amount of depth. So if you think about it from a goalkeeper perspective, you got Mamadashvili, who I think you could certainly make the argument is the best second keeper in the league. I don't know who else would be. So I think Mamadashvili is very good. Who else is on the bench? Joe Gomez is good in the sense that he's versatile. So he can fill in at right back, he can fill in at left back, he can fill in at centre back. So I think it's good to have that kind of player. Leone looks like a top talent. He's absolutely massive. And he's released some training pictures as well. And like the weights that he's lifting are heavy. I'm like, how are you lifting those weights at 18? Newcastle have scored. It's Voltamade. I was gonna say, is that Anthony Gordon? But I remembered he suspended. So Voltamade just scored a header. Just waiting to see the replay on that. But yeah, Leone looks good, to be fair. He's received a senior call up to the Italy team as well, which I think is positive. In terms of midfield, Curtis Jones is fine. He's fine. I wouldn't say he's amazing, but equally wouldn't say he's terrible. I'd say he's fine. Curtis Jones is fine. Endo. What I like about Endo is that he offers something a bit different. So he's a natural ball winner. Just seeing this goal. Yeah, that's a good goal. Voltamade was clearly onside. It was a cross by Jacob Ramsey, kind of looping cross to the far post. And that's fair enough. Like, if you got a giant striker, stick it in the air. You know what I mean? So let's change this to 1-0. But yeah, what were we saying? Yeah, Endo's good. He's a natural ball winner. He knows that he's not first choice, but equally he doesn't throw a fit, if you know what I mean. So I think it's important to have that kind of player. Who else we got? I mean, if you think about from the midfield perspective, you got Wirtz, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and not all four of those are going to play. So I think one of those will be on the bench, and whichever of those is on the bench, I think is a good option. Connor Bradley probably also on the bench, good option. Robertson, he's fine. I won't lie, making him vice captain is a bit odd if he's not a starter, but he's fine for all things kind of considered. I think there's an abundance of cover in the attack. Ekitike, if he's benched when Isak comes in, Ekitike is very good. Rio's very good. So I think in terms of the bench, this year especially, the bench is looking quite good in all positions other than centre-back. But I think you alluded to that earlier when you were saying Liverpool need 2 centre-backs if Konate leaves. Which means right now they need 1. So yeah. But I think it's fine. I think it's a lot better. It's a lot better than it has been in past years. Edit says, sorry, I changed first Liverpool and Arsenal. So you're saying Liverpool first, Arsenal second, Chelsea third, City fourth, United 15th. I mean that again it seems reasonable. It seems reasonable. I do think Liverpool will win the league. Arsenal second is a possibility, but so is Chelsea, to be fair. Man City, yeah. Man City fourth, I can see that happening. They don't seem to have really had the best start to the season, but equally, I do think things will pick up for them slightly. So all things considered, fourth is probably accurate, I think. Fish with a chicken, which is very nice, very well appreciated. I still don't know quite what that chicken means. You will have to tell me one day. Ikram, I think, was talking about the kind of depth, or is perhaps following on from the depth conversation we were having earlier. Can Liverpool challenge on all fronts with such a heavy squad? Yeah, I think that's the intention. You got good cover at right back with respect to Conor Bradley. You got sufficient cover at left back. I wouldn't call it good cover these days, but you got sufficient cover at left back with Andy Robertson. You got good cover, although he is an unknown quantity to a certain degree with Leone at centre back. But I do think Liverpool are a bit short at centre back, which is why they went in for Mark Gahey. Abundance of cover in midfield. You got Endo, you got, let's for argument's sake say Szoboszlai. You got Curtis Jones, and there's a lot of cover up front as well. With Ekitike, with Rio, with Chiesa, totally forgot about him earlier. So yeah, I think that is the intention, to perhaps go further in the cups compared to last year. FA Cup they didn't go particularly far. Was it Preston that they lost to? Can't remember. Champions League, they did very well in the group stage, but then got eliminated versus PSG in the knockouts. But to be fair, I guess it's a bit unlucky to get PSG so early. So yeah. I'm hoping with the depth or the heavy squad, as you put it, Liverpool can go a bit further. Fish said, buy me beer. You're a bit young for beer, number one. And number two, I'm not sure Fish drink beer. Which Liverpool player would be the worst at commenting a Which Liverpool player would be worst at commentating a game? Well, funnily enough, when I was younger, I always used to think Jamie Carragher. Because when he was younger, he used to talk really, really fast. And nobody used to understand what he was saying. So a few years ago, I would have said Jamie Carragher, which is kind of ironic now because he has a job as a commentator. But he has slowed down a lot with how he speaks. But in terms of right now, who would be the worst? Maybe Alisson. Alisson doesn't really have a voice for commentary, so maybe him. I haven't just gone through the squad and picked the first one. Edit says, Liverpool poll should play two with Isak and Hugo, and then right mid Salah and left mid Cody. Then it is something that they could do. I think it depends. It depends on the team. Like I wouldn't want to play that kind of formation against a strong team, because I think then you only kind of have two in the middle, whereas most teams have three in the middle. So if you're two versus most teams three, we're gonna get overrun a lot in midfield, and I think that's the problem Man United are having. They only have two central midfielders, Casemiro. I've combined them there, Casemiro and Mainu, and when they do that, they get overrun. So I perhaps wouldn't want to play that permanently in every game. But with that said, against some of the kind of lesser teams who play a low block, that could work. So you'd have Salah on the right, Cody on the left. You'd likely have to have Florian Wirtz in the middle, and you'd have Isak and Hugo up top. So that's kind of five forwards. Gravenberch is going to be doing a lot of covering in that formation, but equally, it is something they can play. As we were saying, against the teams that play a low block and sit very deep. Just chuck loads of forwards on. Fish says, Google Gubin. Isn't this your mom? You were saying that the other day. You were saying my mom is called Gubin. Did you see the video with Van Dijk and Frimpong yesterday? Frimpong is very much like Robbo. Is that the one where he was picking Frimpong up like not like like a baby, I guess. He was picking him up like a baby and kind of flipping him around. I did see that. It was kind of funny. After watching it, I'm not sure who enjoyed it more, whether it was Van Dijk or Frimpong. I think Frimpong actually enjoyed it more. He seemed to quite enjoy getting flipped. Is that a delivery for me? That can't be a delivery for me. That's probably my neighbor. Yeah, I think it's my neighbor's delivery. But yeah, no, it was good. Good vibes. You don't get that at every team, so it's good to see the newbies are integrating. I appreciate Frimpong knows Van Dijk from the national team, but it's good to see he's settling in well. I'm just spying on what packages my neighbor's got. Looks like a book or something. Edits says, bro, it's Alisson's last season. Most probably. There's a chance. I think it depends how this season goes. I think contractually, is it 2027? For some reason, 2027 is in my mind. So I think contractually he's perhaps got 2 more years left. But equally, I think it depends how this season goes. If he gets lots of injuries, which has happened in the past, there's a chance it could be his last season. But I think that's why we bought Mamardashvili, to have a competent backup who can come in. And when we say come in, we mean play a significant number of games, like Kelleher did last season. So yeah, I'd say it depends how this season goes. If he's out for a lot of it, and I mean over 50%, then there's a chance. But equally, I think if he performs well, and I think if he continues to perform to a high standard, I think he might get a new contract. It just depends on the injury situation, and it just depends on the availability situation. And I think the flip side of that as well is also when Mamardashvili comes in, not if, but when he comes in, it also depends how Mamardashvili performs. Mamardashvili was a part of pre-season, it looked fine. But if Mamardashvili looks absolutely amazing and the best thing since sliced bread, then it would lessen the need to extend Alisson. But if Mamardashvili looks average, then they might keep Alisson around. But from my perspective, I think Alisson's amazing. I don't think his level has dropped. If anything, his level seems to keep getting higher every year. So yeah, from a performance perspective, he's very good. Only concern is the fitness. Fish says we're going to break. Please don't break anything. Durwood needs to find a man that looks at me the way Isak looks at Van Dijk. just kind of eyes wide open, completely besotted. Yeah. Yeah, he looks. Isak looks like he's in love, which again is a positive. Kind of how the new players seem to settle in so easily and so quickly. Ooh, Jacob Ramsey with a shot there. Just gone wide. Will Van Dijk retire at Liverpool? Again, I think it's similar to the Alisson situation. So Van Dijk right now, he's got 2 years left because he just signed a new contract. If he continues to perform at a really high level, and to be honest, not even the level that he's at, even if he drops by say 20-25%, I think Liverpool would be willing to keep him around on a lower wage, but Liverpool would want to keep him around. So I think if he kind of continues to perform and Liverpool continue to offer him new contracts, then there's a chance he does retire. But if I had to guess, probably not. He might go for a big payday in Saudi or a big payday in the US, and you wouldn't really blame him. So yeah, if I was to guess, I'd say he does not retire at Liverpool, but you never know. Zaim says, "Hope you're well. Did you see Van Dijk carrying Frimpong in training?" Yeah, we were literally just talking about that one there. It was kind of funny, as we were saying, how he was kind of flipping him around like a baby. And what was nice about that was, Newcastle have scored a second. Jacob Ramsey. What was nice about that was kind of how much Frimpong was enjoying it. Seeing that video, it was tough to see. Was Frimpong enjoying it more, or was it Van Dijk? But yeah, it was kind of funny. Again, does any other team put out like videos that are, what's the word, that show, does any other team put out videos that show the personality of the players? I don't think any other team do. Like I never see this kind of thing from Chelsea, or this kind of thing from Man United, or from Arsenal. It seems to be specifically a Liverpool thing. But yeah, it was kind of funny, can't lie. Edit says, did Leverkusen sign a replacement for Pep from Timu? Ten Hag got sacked faster than Neymar getting injured. Joke, I love Neymar. The Ten Hag situation was hilarious. I think we were talking about that the other day. But when he got hired in the summer, I remember we were saying Leverkusen need to do a rebuild because they've lost Alonso, they've lost Frimpong, they've lost Florian Wirtz. Why are they entrusting a rebuild to the guy that screwed up Man United's rebuild? You know what I mean? Like he literally tried to do a rebuild at Man United with a lot more money, and he failed at that. And then somebody saw that and said, you know what? That's exactly what we need at Leverkusen. So Ten Hag was a catastrophe at Leverkusen. But like weirdly, like I don't even blame him too much because the ownership at Leverkusen, surely they must have seen what he was, right? So then why did they give him a job? Like he's clearly not qualified to do a rebuild. Maybe he's qualified in other areas, but he's clearly not a good candidate. So why did they give him a job? And especially, why did they give him a job to then fire him two games later? Like the whole situation is just soaked in incompetence, but not from Ten Hag's side, from Leverkusen's side. So they made a mistake, and they're gonna have to pay out. They're gonna have to pay out millions. You know what I mean? It's a weird situation. Like Like I don't know, like you order takeaway, you order takeout from a restaurant and it's horrible. So you eat it and it's horrible. And then you've got a wedding planned and you're like, you know who we're gonna get to make food for the wedding? That horrible takeaway. I'm like, why are you doing that? You got evidence that it doesn't work. I don't know. It's insane. Durwood can see Van Dijk going into coaching. Yeah, I can see him. I can see him on the sidelines. He seems a bit too intelligent to be a pundit. He seems a bit too intelligent and articulate to be a pundit. Pundits tend to be, generally speaking, the ones that don't have the nous to make it as a manager. I'm simplifying to a certain degree, but yeah, I can see him getting his coaching badges, maybe working as a coach for a few years, and then after a couple of years going into management. Tupac says Matty Cash, thank you very much. Arsenal will start doing the kind of the laid back videos and take credit. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, it's really nice to see everyone gets on, because you don't have that at other teams. That's quite funny actually. We're talking about Arsenal trusting the process, and then we're talking about Ten Hag getting fired after 2 games, and Edit says Leverkusen doesn't trust in the process. That's the perfect way to put it, I think. Leverkusen were lucky yesterday, 2 red cards and still won. It's probably good that they didn't trust in the process. They decided after 2 games that the process was not for them, and in doing so, they managed to win their next game. So let's hope Arsenal do not see that. Zaim says, well, which players do you think in this team becomes a pundit, a Robbo? Yeah, I think Robbo is a possibility. I think Alisson's a possibility as a pundit, but he won't be doing it like every game, like Jamie Carragher. He'll be like a guest. He'll be like one of those kind of guest pundits types of things. In terms of who would be a pundit every game, It's tough to it's tough to kind of envisage them. I think Kanate, maybe Kanate. I can see Kanate being a pundit. I can just see that. I don't think Salah would bother. Gakpo, maybe. The trouble is, it's a very young squad, so it's hard to kind of envisage them in 20 years, if you know what I mean. Whereas if it's an older player, you can kind of make the link, which is probably why Robertson was suggested. But yeah, I think Robertson's probably the best one. Jeremy Frimpong enthusiast says, was Voltemade's goal good? Yeah, I thought it was good. Cross by Jacob Ramsey. And then Voltemade, to be fair, timed his run very good. So Voltemade was between two defenders, timed his run very good, and then scored with a header. So yeah, good goal. I thought it was good. Jamie says Milner as a pundit. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I think I can see him going into coaching as well with Milner. But sometimes people go into coaching and they do punditry as well. Milner could probably do both. Yamal to PSG, here we go. Source hairline of Zidane or my hairline equally. What you do for a living, I think Edith's saying. Work in like app development, that sort of stuff. Kieran says Newcastle fans have no clue who Isak is now. Yeah. Isak who? To be fair, it was a really good goal by Voltemade. It was impressive how he kind of stayed onside. Literally kind of stayed in the middle of the two defenders. Timed his run perfectly, and it was a really good header. But at half time, oh, 45. Ikram says, how will Wirtz handle the physicality of English midfields? Yeah, good question. I do think there's a learning curve coming into the Premier League compared with somewhere like Bundesliga. So I mean, right now, I think he's okay, but I do think there's improvements that can be made. But equally, physicality is one of those attributes that you can easily improve, if you think about it. That's kind of why they've built this fancy AXA training complex with weights and machines and benches and so forth and dumbbells. You know what I mean? So whilst I think he's okay now, I do think there's work for him to do, but there's work for all players to do. He'll be put on like a kind of individual plan. He'll be put on a new diet. And then hopefully you should see him handling the physicality a bit better in a few years. Not a few years, even a few months, to be fair. I do find it a bit bizarre. People say Wirtz is not physical enough. But like physicality, you can easily improve your physicality. If people were saying Wirtz is not intelligent enough, then we can't really make him more intelligent. If people were saying he's not quick enough, you can make a player slightly quicker, but you'd hit diminishing returns very soon. Whereas if you say a player is not physical enough, that's something that's very easy to improve. Change your diet, hit the gym, especially if you're 22, and guess what? You'll start adding on muscle. I mean, look at the transformation that Trent went through in a few years. Trent perhaps took it a bit too far. I think Trent was perhaps too muscular at the end. but you see where I mean. You can be a relatively lightweight player and then improve your physicality that way. So the whole notion that somebody is not physical enough is just a silly conclusion, because you can become more physical by changing your diet and working out more. Kieran says, yeah, also Wolves should have had a red. Yeah, I'm surprised that was not given. Fish says, Xbox One, buy me, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's 9 zeros? Is that 100 million? Buy me 100 million Xbox One controllers. I can do that. If I'm to take a shortcut though, there's an Xbox One controller on that shelf on the second row. So if I give you that one, I then would not need to buy you 100 million. I would only need to buy you 99,999,999 controllers. So if you're willing to accept one that's second hand, maybe I can do a deal. I say do a deal. What do I get out of this deal? But you know what I mean. Edit says De Bruyne is shining in Serie A. Will Højlund do the same like McTominay? I mean, Højlund did come from Serie A. So whilst I think he'll do better, I do think he'll do better in Italy than he did in England. But I don't think he'll kind of shine, if you know what I mean. Like maybe he'll get a couple of goals, which is a improvement. Yeah. I think it'll be similar. Mark says the game isn't physical anymore due to all the diving. It's certainly not as physical as it was back in the day. I'd like the game to be more physical. I'd like bookings to be handed out for diving. And I appreciate a referee will not get it right 100% of the time, but nothing is fully foolproof. I think if a referee thinks a player's gone down, just book them. Bookings are handed out for the silliest things these days, like kicking the ball away. To me, diving's worse because you're literally trying to con somebody compared to just wasting time. So I think that's a rule change I would do that would make things a bit more physical. Oliver says Sunderland still 0-0 at half time against Palace at Selhurst. Interesting. That's they're doing pretty good then to still be 0-0 at half time. You said that? Oh yeah, I did. When I was saying he's too muscular, I meant 66, not whatever I may have said. Zaim says intelligence beats physicality like David Silva. He just needs to get used to releasing the ball quicker as the tempo is higher. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Equally, intelligent players can be made more physical, but physical players can't be made more intelligent. Which is why whenever people say player X is not physical enough, I'm never really concerned, because the coaching staff and the chefs and all the training staff can easily work on that. Intelligence, as you mentioned, is a much more valuable commodity and a much more valuable attribute of a player. Like if we were to flip this to a certain degree, who's very physical but potentially is not intelligent? I don't know, Ugarte or somebody. Not calling him dumb. So would I rather have Ugarte than Wirtz? No. I want the player whose brain is a 10 out of 10, because having a 10 out of 10 brain is more of a rarity than having 10 out of 10 muscles, because anyone can grow muscles. Speaking of United. Mr. Default appears at the perfect time. I've been saying like nice things all day, and as soon as I start hating on Manuel Ugarte, Mr. Default appears. But yeah, I hope you're doing good. Oh, that's a good example, Dan. That, to be fair, that's a better example than the one I gave when I was saying who's a player who's very physical but doesn't have much intelligence. Yeah, I think Dan's example is even better. Nunes. Mr. Default says, I heard Man United hate and had to pop by. I could sense it in the air. I mean, I can't even deny it at this point. If you also sense the lottery numbers in the air, please do let us know. Music on stage, thank you for that. Fish says, ow, have you fallen over? Yeah, Adama Traore would be another kind of very, very good example. Kind of all pretty much entirely kind of pace and power. But not nobody, but I very rarely hear the complaint Traore is not intelligent enough. But surely that's a bigger concern than Wirtz is not physical enough, because they can't make Traore more intelligent. Maybe you can, like a few percentage points, but not to the extent that would be needed. So yeah, I just find the whole thing a bit silly. Mr. Default senses Man United 2, City 1. Is this from the same database where United 3, Arsenal 2 came from? Do you recall the one from the future, or was that a different Mr. Default? I think one of my visions will come true. Fair enough. I mean, you got to keep positive, right? You got to be like, you know what? One day, one of these will come true. I reckon it will be a draw. I reckon it will be a draw. Maybe 1-1. But yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow. I'm just a bit annoyed. Like, couldn't they do the Liverpool game on one day, and then the City Man United game on another day? But no. Premier League are messing us about with their timing. It's sad to say I'd take a draw. I hear where you're coming from. I think you're away from home as well. So a draw away to Man City, not the worst result. Fish is going to sleep. Hope you have a nice nap. Salah, Barnes, or McManaman? John Barnes, I didn't really see. I'm a bit too young for that. Steve McManaman, I saw. Steve McManaman was fine, but I wouldn't put him on Salah's level. So all things considered, I would probably keep it how you've got it there. So Salah number 1, Barnes number 2, McManaman number 3. Yeah, Mr. Default says obviously Salah. Yeah, I think you'd have to put Salah number 1. Carl Walker will pocket Hugo. He won't. He's so washed. Yeah, I mean, Walker will probably come up against Gakpo probably, but even then, I mean, Walker is a good example of what we were talking about earlier in terms of not being able to make players more intelligent. So Walker has been highly reliant on his pace for the majority of his career. And now that he doesn't have that pace, he looks very ordinary. Jay says Volta made my goal. It was a good goal, to be fair. It was a really good goal. I quite like how he stayed onside. It was a good cross by Ramsey, but also I like how Volta stayed onside. Got the head on. Mr. Default says, what's happening with this sack? Nothing much. He played in the Sweden game for about 20 minutes, then came back to Liverpool, done a bit of training. Liverpool managers come out and said he's going to gradually kind of phase him into the team, because he's purchased him for 6 years, not for 2 weeks. So he's going to gradually phase him into the team, which makes sense, because he hasn't played in pre-season at all because he was on strike. So he's kind of going to be doing his pre-season as part of the games. If you think about it, he'll be coming on 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, 40 minutes there. And I think they're going to gradually build his fitness up that way. And then we should be good. What will be interesting to see, I think, is what happens when Isak is fully fit. Does that mean Ekitike is going to be benched? Does that mean Ekitike is going to be on left? Or does that mean something else? It'll be interesting to see that. Pace Merchant, that's all he ever was. Kyle Walker, yeah, true. Feel bad for Hugo. Yeah, I think, yeah, me too, to a certain degree. But I presume they have something up their sleeves with respect to how it's gonna work. Like, it doesn't feel like a kind of particularly Liverpool type of thing to buy a backup for 70 million, if you know what I mean. That's not really something they do. So I'm hoping they've got some sort of master plan, which is going to manifest itself once Isak is fit. Second half has started. Start timer running. Mr. Default's break is finished. Enjoy the rest of the stream, says Mr. Default. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Fish says no red card yet. Yes, not yet. There was a VAR check for a red card, but it was not given. Brad says, you doing the Liverpool game tomorrow? Yep, looking forward to it. Is it 2 o'clock or 2:30? I think it's 2 o'clock, but yeah. We'll be doing the Liverpool game tomorrow. And then also the Man City, Man United. I typically don't do like two in a single day because it's quite exhausting, but given it's Man United, Man City, I'm gonna kind of have to. But yeah, I shall be here. Can't lie, looking forward to the Liverpool game more, naturally. Brighton just scored. Wow, interesting. Who scored for Brighton? It's not James Milner, was it? Or was it somebody else? Zame says, we will play 60 games. Ekitike will get more than enough minutes, especially if they share minutes per match, like 70-20 split. Yeah, good point as well. Liverpool will play a lot of games this season. So I think there's plenty of opportunities for Ekitike to play. I think last year perhaps skewed expectations to a certain degree, because Liverpool went out the FA Cup very early. Liverpool went out of the Champions League very early in the knockouts to PSG. So going out of two cups very early significantly reduces the games that can be played. But I think Zame's right. This year, that's probably not going to happen. Or we hope. We hope at the very least. This year, that's not going to happen. So yeah, there'll be plenty of kind of opportunity. Season is very long. Like it's only September. And I think equally anything could happen. Like Salah could get injured, Isak could get injured, Gakpo could get injured, and then I think you need quality players to come in. So yeah, I think you're right. There'll be plenty of opportunity. Taster Tester says, "How's it, man? All good, thank you. All good. Had a busy week, but yeah, all good with me. How's things with you? You must be happy with the Arsenal win earlier. Pretty good 3-0 win." Fish says, "Sir, you look like Karim Demirbay." I don't know who that is, but I will Google this person in a bit. Mitoma scored. Should have known. For some reason, that feels like the most obvious, the most obvious one. Preston says, "I'm in 6th grade band, beginning band. I have clarinet. It's a B clarinet. Very nice." I remember a month ago you were asking what instrument to play. Clarinet seems like a good choice. But yeah, good stuff. I kind of always wished I played an instrument when I was younger. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do. Malusi says, "Hi, how are you, Malusi? Hope all is well with you. Hope you're good." NP19 says, "Geez, did you get all kits possible?" I did. I cannot confirm or deny whether they are all genuine. But I may have done. Bite your tongue when you say things like that. Was that Kerim Demirbay? Did I pronounce it wrong, or did I? Is it like Demirbay? I might have pronounced it wrong. I had a feeling I was pronouncing it wrong. Malusi says, "What do you think of the Portuguese boat?" As in goat? Portuguese goat or something else? You'll have to let me know. Have you ordered the new third kit and keeper one? Yep. I have. I was unsure whether to get the long sleeve, but I did in the end. Long sleeve is oddly comfortable, but the keeper one, as in the black one, they only have that in short sleeve. Ah, yes. Well, maybe I should touch wood. This is not quite wood. It's a coaster. Actually, is this wood? It might be wood. This desk is wood. So yeah, I touched the desk, as you can see by everything shaking. There you go. Taster Tester says, "I'm doing very good. My leave starts on Monday. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Looking forward to it. Very happy with the win. What's your predictions for tomorrow's game against Burnley?" I think Liverpool will win 2-0. I think Liverpool will perhaps just have a bit too much for them. I don't think Burnley will score. So I'm probably going to go with a 2-0 prediction. If Liverpool were at home, I'd maybe change that slightly, but I think 2-0 is about right. But what do you think? MBG Edit says, "Do you have FPL?" I do. You just reminded me. I totally forgot about that. I forgot that I did, but I do. This is my... I got 6 points. 6 points. But yeah, I haven't really played FPL for years, so I was coerced into playing it. Fish says Google. Okay, I'll Google this guy. I can't lie, Fish. A lot of the people you say look like me. I don't quite see it, but really, I mean, maybe the beard to a certain degree. This guy. I mean, my nose is like way bigger. He's got more hair. I was gonna say he's got bigger ears, but we've probably both got big ears. I think maybe you mean from a beard perspective. It's boats. Boat. Search it. Portuguese boat. Oh. Is it something that's maybe happened in the news or something? Do you mean this Greta, the Greta thing? Yeah, it's just showing me boats for sale. I got a feeling Burnley is going to play well. Maybe 2-1 to Liverpool. Yeah, 2-1 to Liverpool. I can see that happening. I think Burnley will proper be up for it. But I'd expect Liverpool to be able to contain a lot of what they're doing. But equally, if they score one, it's not the end of the world. I think Liverpool will come back, as you said. But yeah, I'd take either of those. 2-0 or 2-1. I'm not too picky. Preston says, yeah, 3 generations in my family have played it. Very nice. 3 generations of clarinet. So you'll have a lot of good teachers then. You'll have a lot of good teachers who can help you and give you tips. That's ideal. You don't have to pay for an expensive teacher. Your family can help you, so it's good to hear. Still 1-0, which is surprising. Real Madrid winning with a red card. I didn't even know they were playing. Who are they playing? Let's have a quick look. Sociedad. Arda Güler and Kylian Mbappe. Fair enough. Who got sent off for them? Hausen got sent off in the 32nd minute. Yeah, I think they'll probably hold on and win that. I think that would perhaps equate to a perfect start because I don't think they've drawn or lost any games yet, so they seem to be doing quite well. Ikram says, will Liverpool enter the season with a clear tactical blueprint? Yes and no. And I know the kind of pretentious thing to say is, there's no tactical blueprint. It's fluid, and we just kind of go with the flow, and we do what we need to do. But it's clearly 4 at the back most of the time. Clearly at least 3 in the middle, and clearly 3 up top. So yeah, I mean, it seems kind of very similar to how it was set up last year. They might make certain tweaks, I guess, because they've got new fullbacks now. Frimpong's going to be very different to 66. So there might be kind of certain tweaks based on how the formation was last year. But I say tweaks. I don't suspect the blueprint, as you mentioned, is going to change significantly. Semenyo scored a penalty, 2-1 Bournemouth. Taste Testers also says Bournemouth scored Semenyo penalty. Nice. We should probably double check all the scores at this point. This is reminding me of the other day. Every time you refreshed it, Norway scored another goal. So Arsenal 3-0, Bournemouth 2-1, I think, as we mentioned. Crystal Palace 0-0, Everton 0-0, Fulham 0-0. Newcastle 1-0, Volta made header, and a couple of games later. Yeah, nothing too crazy, I guess, all things considered. Oh, 66 on the bench. Is Danny Carvajal playing then? Is that his starting career in Real Madrid done for? Started a couple of games, and as soon as the 32-year-old came back, he's 66 is on the bench. He can't be particularly happy about that, which in turn makes us very happy. I'm confused though, because I thought he was going to win the Ballon d'Or. How'd you win the Ballon d'Or from the bench? Is it like a bench d'Or? Is there like another version of the trophy? My prediction was Aston Villa in 2 years. Not after 1 year, but in 2 years. I think that's where he will end up. Joe Linton with a chance, but absolutely nothing happens. Voltamade is coming quite deep to win the ball, to be fair. Taster Tester says, I think it's going to be a season between Liverpool and Arsenal to take it. Rule out Man City, Tottenham and Chelsea. I think it's going to be a very close call. Gyökeres to score 20 plus goals. Okay, a lot to take in there, which we will go through in a bit. Shadow Guy says hi. How are you, Shadow Guy? I hope you're having a good weekend. So between Liverpool and Arsenal, I can see that. I think Chelsea will also be in the mix. I don't think Man City are as strong as they were in previous years. There just seems to be something going on in that club, which is preventing them from reaching the heights of yesteryear. I think I didn't say SIRI. I don't know why my watch is activating. But yeah, rule out Man City. Tottenham, yeah, I think Tottenham will start off very well. But I think they'll fall off towards the end of the season. So yeah, in terms of the top positions, I think Liverpool, Arsenal, and I also think Chelsea, which is close enough. Gyökeres to score 20 plus goals. That is a lofty prediction. Is that in Premier League only, or is that across all competitions? Fish is eating a donut. Oh, I could do with a donut right now. What kind of donut is it? Shadow Guy says, "Hi, I'm not Jonathan from Twitch. I'm a different person." Okay, fair enough. We will collectively agree then. Can we therefore collectively agree that chess is the worst sport, and Chelsea are terrible, and Barcelona are terrible, and yeah, that should do. You're his assistant, I think. Very nice. I didn't know Jonathan had an assistant, but I'm happy to hear that. Premier League only. All competitions 30 plus. I mean, if he does score 20 goals Premier League, then you're right. It would be kind of very close at the top, because I think that's what Arsenal have been missing the past few years, having a clinical striker who can get a lot of goals. So if Gyökeres does do that, I mean, he got a goal today. Nice finish from a cross, which I saw. If Gyökeres does do that, then yeah, it's going to be very close. Ikram says, will Wirtz add depth to Liverpool's creative hierarchy? I would think so, yes. I mean, oh wait, I've just read that wrong. Will Wirtz add depth to Liverpool's creative hierarchy? I would argue he's at the top of that hierarchy, and that's why they bought him. They bought him for his creativity. Sabazla is very good, and I think we're kind of seeing the value in him this season. Or should I say, I feel like more people are seeing his value this season. But where he perhaps lacked a bit was in the creativity department. So I think Wirtz, rather than just adding depth to Liverpool's creative hierarchy, I feel like he was brought in to be the linchpin at the top of that hierarchy. So he's been purchased to be the creative outlet, to find that final pass, to unlock defensive and so forth. And to be fair, it was probably needed with 66 going last year. You needed somebody who was at the very least equally creative, and 100 million later, that's hopefully what they've got. Fish says, please read this message to you. I will never be able to get my delivery outside for a while. What's this a delivery for? Is it a delivery for more donuts? In which case, that's a lot of donuts. The person who is not Jonathan says, chess is the best sport. To be fair, chess is very good. Chelsea is better than Liverpool. And say whatever you want about Barcelona. You used to like Barcelona though. You used to like Barcelona. Do you not like them anymore? You prefer Chelsea. Chelsea's floating your boat a bit more. But yeah, how's the chess lessons going? You were saying you were doing chess lessons. I hope that's going good. Speaking of chessboards, we are watching Newcastle, whose shirt kind of resembles a chessboard to a certain degree. Zaim says Elliot is on for Villa. Ooh, interesting. Their new number 9, which is gonna take a bit of getting used to. But their new number 9 is on. Where is he playing? Is he playing in the number 10 position? Is he playing on the right hand side? I'm refreshing BBC, but they're taking a while to show him. But yeah, that's good. It's good to hear. That is good to hear. Fish says, did you know if you add a wrap in the pan? I did know that, yes. I did know that. Of all the things I know, that's number one for sure. I'm surprised this game is still 1-0. But when Newcastle do free kicks like that, it's less surprising. Jonathan says, one kid asked me if I knew whoever that is. If you want, you can search him. I'm going to search him, but not put him on the screen. Because this is Jonathan we're talking about. Oh, it's just a chess grandmaster. Fair enough. Nothing bad. So one kid was so amazed by your chess skills. He asked if you were Bobby Fischer. Speaking of chess, have you seen the Darren Brown video? If you search on YouTube Darren Brown chess, he plays chess against 9 players at the same time, and 4 of them are grandmasters, and he wins. And he tells you at the end how he wins, but if you've not seen that, you might like that. Taste Tester says, in my family, my dad supports Man United. I support Arsenal. My aunt supports Liverpool. Whenever Man United lose, my dad ends up looking like a blowfish. I'm not surprised. That must happen a lot at the moment with how things are going. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how everyone supports somebody a bit different. Your aunt must have been very happy last season, all things considered. So I think last season your aunt was the most happy. You were perhaps second most happy, and your dad was the least happy after last season. Fish said, add some cheese. Is this to the donut that you're eating? I would not recommend that. See, you've put donuts in my mind now. I've been very healthy recently. But now I might have to have a donut. I've not had a donut since I went to the US. And the reason why is because every third shop was a Dunkin' Donuts. So then you just kind of have to. Ikram says, you're really good at this. Appreciate that. Liverpool says, hey mate, I've got that kit and I don't know if it's fake. What does the standard chart? I mean, mine is. mine ain't real. So I'm probably the worst metric to give, if that makes sense. I mean, if you want to see the standard chart, it's like that. But I don't know if that helps. Will supports Bournemouth. Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before. Will supports Bournemouth. Tupac supports Fulham. Fish supports Liverpool, and Gornik Zabje. Oh, Sociedad scored, says Taste the Testers. Does that make that 2-1 then? Oyarzabal has scored a penalty in the 56th minute. So there's about half an hour to go, and Real Madrid have got 10 men. Let's see if they hold on. Jonathan says, it's easy to beat 9 people. If it's more, it will be even easier because everyone has a different playing style if they don't understand each other. But he plays all 9 games at once. But like, just watch it. It's on YouTube. Just watch it. He tells you at the end how how he does it. And if you think about it, so he's playing chess against 9 people at the same time. He wins 5 games and I think he loses 4. But you like chess, so it's a good video. Fish says Muslera to Liverpool. Here we go. I've got no idea who that is. Josh says, referencing clubs like Brighton, Atlanta, Dortmund, which abbreviates as bad. I don't know if that was deliberate or unintentional. How frustrating must it be for the supporters that although you play attractive football, you're constantly selling your big names every year? It must be beyond frustrating because it makes it very difficult to build because you're constantly having to rebuild things that were good. So I guess to a certain degree, you would feel like you're perpetually in a state of flux where you do really good in a season and you think, okay, next year we only need a striker, and then if we get a striker, then we're good. But suddenly a big team wants your midfielder and your defender, and then instead of just getting a striker, now you've got to replace the midfielder and the defender, and there's also no guarantee that who you buy as a replacement will be any good. So yeah, it must be one of the most annoying things. Brighton, they have very good scouting, and I think Dortmund also have good scouting, but equally that doesn't make it what's the word? That makes things slightly better, but it still makes things frustrating. Fish says Google Muslera. I'll have a look in a bit. Azim says Elliot wearing the number 9 is surprising. Yeah, it is weird. It's weird for like a non-striker to be wearing number 9. The only thing that would be slightly weirder than Elliot wearing number 9 would be Elliot wearing the number 1. I think if Elliot was wearing the number 1, that would be even weirder. But yeah, 9 is in second place of weirdness. He was number 19 at Liverpool, and then maybe that wasn't available, so he felt like, okay, let's get rid of the 1. But yeah, it's odd. Maybe he'll change that if he stays there for longer. Fish says Dagoat, is that this Muslera guy? Jonathan says, oh, it was 9 different games. Yeah, so he's playing chess against 9 different people at the same time, and he wins 5 of them, and most of those players are grandmasters. You need to go watch the video whenever you have time, and then tell me what you think about it. It's a very simple trick, but it's pretty good. Taster Tester says, come on Real Madrid. Still 2-1. I'll be opposite. I'll be honest, I'm come on Real Sociedad. SH says, hello mate, excited for tomorrow? Yeah man, super excited. I feel like we've been waiting forever. We've been waiting forever to see Liverpool play again. But yeah, super excited. Chance for Newcastle. Excited to see what the formation is going to be, excited to see who's available, and excited to see kind of how things are going to plan out. A lot of people have been asking about Isak. I think Isak will be on the bench because I don't think he's fully fit yet. But there's a chance there's a chance he could maybe come on for 20 minutes. And yeah, it just makes things all the more exciting. I'm hoping for a 2-0 win. All things considered. Do you have any predictions, or is there anything that you hope to see? I hope we see Isak for like a little bit. I know he won't start, but 10 minutes here and there, that'll make me happy. Jonathan with is that cat in a box? Jonathan will watch the video. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Ikram says, can Kirkes displace Robertson this season? SH has answered saying, Ikram, I don't think this season, but I imagine he's a long-term replacement. Might take more than one season. Yeah, I see what you mean. Interestingly, Kirkes has started all the games as far as I'm aware. So I feel like Kirkes is the first choice. But equally, Robertson is still there. And equally, Robertson has been made vice-captain. And to me, you don't make somebody vice-captain if they're not going to play. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of in two minds about it. What I would say is I feel like the position is there for Kirkes to lose. So I feel like Kirkes is going to be the starter. But if things are not going so well, Robertson might come back in. But that's why it's important to have a big squad. With that said, Kirkes did very well against Arsenal, particularly very well against Madueke. There was a Madueke highlights compilation that came out, and it was just Kirkes tackling him all the time. But yeah, thankfully we don't have long to wait now. Jonathan says, search whoever that is. Is this person related to George Carlin? He was a comedian back in the day. I'll search her. I have a feeling I know what type of person this is going to be. So I'm not going to... I get absolutely nothing. But is it because I have safe search on? It could be because I have safe search on. Jonathan says, what is tomorrow fish? See, that's funny. That was good. I can't lie. Oh, God. Jonathan's like, what's tomorrow? A fish says Sunday. That was good. I can't lie. That's probably one of your best ones. It's simple, but it's funny. I like that. Very, very, very witty. Very witty. By Fish. SH says, I think presumably Isak, will see some game time, but the fact he's missed out so much on pre-season, etc., I wouldn't expect a huge impact if he come on, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think I keep thinking there's a van on my drive, but it's just the sun. I'm not used to the sun at this time, but anyway. But yeah, with respect to Isak, he hasn't had a pre-season. I think in the last 4 months, the only football that he's played is 20 minutes for Sweden off the bench a few days ago. So they're going to want to replicate a pre-season for him during the proper season. So I think what will happen is I mean, there's a chance, to be fair. There's a chance, to be fair, that he won't come on at all tomorrow. But I think if he does come on, it will just be for a few minutes, and I think they'll use the Premier League games and they'll use the Cup games to kind of gradually build up his fitness. Then hopefully he's fit by, I don't know, October? Because all the other players have had a month of pre-season, and they've also had 3 Premier League games, so it's going to be a gradual thing. But like the manager was saying, they didn't buy Isak just for 2 weeks, they bought him for 6 years, so yeah, it makes sense. They'll gradually get him up to speed. Fish says Muslera to Liverpool. Here we go. I'll Google this Muslera person, but no. Okay, Fish, this is a goalkeeper. There is no chance. Liverpool sign another goalkeeper because they've already purchased. They've purchased Mamardashvili. They've purchased Armin Pesci. They've purchased Freddie Woodman, who might have been on a free. But regardless, Liverpool have signed 3 goalkeepers in the last month. which makes me think Muslera will not be a fourth. Jonathan says Fish's mom is going on a date with him tomorrow. Very nice. Where are you taking her? Are you going anywhere nice? Going to cinema, restaurant, or perhaps somewhere else? SH says, I've never been alive to see so much squad depth. What a feeling. Yeah. I mean, me too, to be honest. Like, I lived through like the 90s. I think Liverpool's kind of heyday was the 80s. I lived through the 90s. There wasn't really much depth. In 2000s, there was one season with Benitez, I think in 2008, where there was good depth. But then he just sold Alonso and so forth, and the depth went. But mostly in the 2000s, there wasn't much depth. 2010s, first half with the kind of the Hodgsons and the Dalglishs, there wasn't much depth. Latter half with Klopp, I'd also argue there wasn't much depth. So yeah, it's a new experience for me as well. Having viable players on the bench and having viable game changers on the bench, you can come on and make a difference, rather than youngsters or kind of fringe players. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. He's Fish's grandpa. All right, this is a chess player, is it? That's probably why she didn't come up when I searched her. Again, nobody's. Oh, is it Carling with a G on the end? This is with a G on the end, a chess player. But you're going on a date tomorrow. Is it with her or is it with somebody else? Taster Tester says, what's your take on referees stretching extra time? If they add 8 minutes and then end up playing into 12 extra, I thought once it's done, it's done. To be fair, that I don't mind, because I think quite often if a referee adds 8 minutes, you'll get sometimes players wasting time. So let's say for argument's sake, Real Madrid are 1-0 up against Barcelona and the referee adds 8 minutes of added time. Real Madrid players would then go down and pretend to kind of fake injury so that 8 minutes don't actually get taken up. So for me, in effect, what's happening there is, even though it's 12 minutes, the referee's pausing time for the players who are trying to waste time. So for me, it's a good thing. Perhaps they could make it a bit more visually obvious to viewers. So perhaps they could kind of show something on the screen to be like, referee has paused the timer now because Chouameni is rolling around on the floor. So I think I think as a concept it's fine, but I think they perhaps need to make the reasoning a bit more obvious to people watching, because otherwise people will naturally complain. It was 8 minutes, so why have they given 12? I think they just need to make it a bit more obvious. I wonder where it would be if the whole Klopp saga never happened. I think it would depend on who. I think it would depend on who came in instead of Klopp. I think. Like, who were the other options at the time? Ancelotti, maybe. But it seems like Ancelotti's wages might have been too high. But I think, generally speaking, I don't think the club would have been in as good a position. CR7 says, hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? CR7 says, are you a Liverpool fan? I am indeed. CR7 says, Ronaldo or Messi? If your name was not CR7, I would have said Messi, but since I can see your username, therefore I have to say Ronaldo. but if your username was not CR7, I would have gone with Messi. Jonathan says we're going to an aquarium to meet fish. That's good. I quite like that one. That's quite good to be fair. The shadow guy is Jonathan. Search Lucas Podolski. I know who Lucas Podolski is. SH prefers Messi. CR7 prefers CR7 prefers CR7 naturally. CR7 says no, I won't mind. Yeah, to be honest, I'd put Messi, but equally like if somebody does put Ronaldo, like I always say, like I see the logic behind it. You know what I mean? Like I can understand. I understand the decision. Sometimes people pretend like the other one's really really bad, but I think both are up there. Me personally, I'd put Messi, but if some other person puts Ronaldo, then I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Like Ronaldo's really good too. Like I understand the logic. Jonathan says thoughts on Thomas Tuchel. I mean, he did very good at Chelsea. To be fair, I was surprised. Like I know this is going back. This is going back a bit, but I was surprised. I'm surprised when they got rid of him, because I thought as a manager he did well there, and he seemed to kind of fit. Like he seemed to kind of fit in the club. Like he seemed to be a good fit for Chelsea, which you don't always get. Now he's at England. I'm not quite sure how that will work out, but got a good result the other day. SH says shock. What's happened? Oh, Fulham have scored 1-0 Fulham. Oh, it's an own goal as well in the 90 plus 4 minutes. An own goal. That is unlucky. CR7 says, do you have an FPL team? I do. I have not played FPL for like however many years, maybe 10 years, but like I was coerced into creating this team. So I do have a team. I have 6 points. Is that good or is that bad? I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, overall points I got 167. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. CR7 says CR7 hard work, Messi gifted. I think that's a fair argument. Ronaldo had to put in a lot of hard work to get to where he was. And I think you have to respect that. And it's not just the hard work on the pitch, it's the hard work off the pitch, it's the diet as well. I still remember the thing, was it at the World Cup where there was like a bottle of Coke and he was like, no Coca-Cola, just have water. I think that's a impressive level of discipline. Jonathan says, am I the only one who don't like Messi or CR7? Possibly. That American owners, Todd Bowley kicked him out. They probably had some sort of disagreement, which is unfortunate because I thought he was a really good fit for Chelsea. Fish says Fabian. What is the context behind that? Cookie Man says Juventus versus Juventus. Is that first team versus second team? Starts in 6 minutes, or is that Juventus versus Inter? Juventus versus Inter, I think. I'm aware of that song. That song was out like 10 years ago. That song was everywhere back in the day. Tester says Chelsea's let go of managers after winning the Premier League and getting kicked out of Champions League, so nothing surprises me anymore with them. Yeah, it's I mean the bar for success there seems to be win absolutely everything, and if you don't win absolutely everything, they'll get rid of you. It's I can't resonate with that too much. SH says, still gutted about Howson, thought he was the next man. Leone is still steaming with potential. Yeah, I was disappointed we didn't get him, especially because he had Premier League experience. He felt like someone who'd fit in nicely to the team, and now he's at Real Madrid getting sent off because that's what happened to him today. But it is what it is. I'm happy with Leone. Kind of very, very, very good price for what looks like could be a gargantuan player for years to come. I do think we need one more centre back, but I'm happy with him. Sunderland drew versus Palace, says CR7. Wow. I think Sunderland were away from home as well, so that's a good result for them. SH says, who's the most obscure player you can think of? Nabil Alzar is a good one. Does anyone remember Anthony Letalek? Anthony Letalek. I think he was number 13, and I think he got the assist for Luis Garcia versus Juventus with he kicked it like that, kind of not side-footed it, but kind of kicked it like that and got the assist for Luis Garcia. I'd probably say Anthony Letalek. He's obscure because not many people would remember him, which I guess is the meaning of obscure to a certain degree. Yeah, Nabil Alzar. Nabil Alzar is probably a better one because I think Alzar has doesn't really have any memorable moments. So probably it says ball knowledge, Zaim. Yeah, that's a good one. I'll see if any more come to me. Like Luis Alberto, Mark Gonzalez. Does anyone remember Mark Gonzalez? Number 11 from Chile. Got him around 2006. Cookie Man says, what's your prediction? Juve versus Inter. Taste the Tester says Juve to win 2-0. I will go with Taste the Testers. Taste the Tester knows what he's talking about. I will go with that. Jonathan says, I think Messi and CR7 were too dominating and destroyed the career and the trajectory of Neymar Hazard. I mean, you might be onto something. You might be onto something, I think. With respect to Neymar, I think Neymar would be the star and would be the focal point in pretty much any team apart from the one that he was in. So I think when he's not the star, maybe he didn't get as much service, and so then that limited what he could do. I think the Hazard example is different, but also good in the sense that I think Hazard coming to Real Madrid perhaps had too much expectation on him to replicate what Ronaldo did, and everyone handles expectation differently. Perhaps it was too much for him and he found comfort in pizza and donuts. But I think you're right. Zaim says thanks. Yeah, it was a good suggestion. Nabil Alzar. I remember Benitez used to big him up and say like, oh, on the right wing we got Nabil. And I was thinking, bro, Nabil ain't gonna do nothing. Jonathan says we'll take our revenge on Barcelona. Could happen. Chelsea looking very good. Tasty Tester says, what do you think of Dirk Kuyt? I remember we signed Dirk Kuyt from Feyenoord from like £7 million. I'll be honest, when we got him as a striker, as in when we were playing him up front, like in the number 9 position, I remember being a bit disappointed. But then he kind of got put on the right, and you saw his value in terms of pressing and kind of work ethic. And I think to a certain degree, he kind of reinvented himself. And at that point, he became invaluable. He was a player who used to kind of press really hard before it was fashionable. So he was ahead of the curve. You can call him a pioneer to a certain degree. Bournemouth win 2-1, says Taste the Testers. Wow. Nice little win for Bournemouth. They managed to hold on against Brighton. Good win for them. Remember Iago Aspas? Yeah, I do remember him. he had a bit of expectation on him. He wasn't particularly good. Did he have the number 9 shirt, or am I imagining that? I remember him in that kind of New Balance kit with the yellow lettering, which looked kind of horrible. But yeah, I remember him. He didn't really have the best of his career at Liverpool. I think he did a lot better when he went to Spain. Yeah, Dirk Kuyt was number 18. Very good as a right winger, I thought. Zaim says Dirk Kuyt would be perfect in the modern system in terms of pressing and work rate. Yeah, he would be ideal. Where would you play him? In the modern system, this is going to be controversial. In the modern system, would Dirk Kuyt be a left winger because he's right-footed? Because you know how everyone's inverted now. So Salah's actually left-footed, Gakpo's right-footed. Would Dirk Kuyt be a left winger if he was playing today, or would it be something a bit different? Or would he play the Firmino role? Maybe a bit of both. Yeah, Aspas. Oh God, Aspas number 9. I just, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for anybody who bought that shirt. Can't lie. Jonathan says every player in their era had to be like them or was a failure. Messi destroyed the career of my favourite players like Eden Hazard. Dybala's a good one. And I think what you've touched on is actually quite good. There was like a whole generation of kind of very good Argentinian players who, unfortunately, were kind of in the shadow of. Messi. I guess that's the downside of having a generational player in your team. Ultimately, it means all the very good players, their kind of trajectory is diminished. SH had a great Hipia one. Is that a Hipia shirt? Of all the players to get, that's a good choice. At the time, you could have maybe had Hipia, Stefan Ancho. I think he was number 2. I would have gone for Hipia. Yeah, Hipia's a good choice to go for. I think he's another one in the conversation. I think for kind of Liverpool's best ever centre back. We were talking a bit about Alan Hansen earlier, talking a bit about Van Dijk, but I think Hipia is certainly in that conversation. I would perhaps put Van Dijk number 1, but Hipia is certainly very good. Taste Testers says, for me, Eden Hazard was good at Chelsea, but after he just dipped in performance here. I think the best of his career. Was at Chelsea. He did get a big move to Real Madrid, and then it didn't quite work out for him. I don't know if it was kind of more mental. I mean, obviously it was physical as well, but he just never really seemed quite fit enough for what that demanded. Is this Malusi from YouTube? Has now switched. SH says a Hipia skirt of Van Dijk are my favourite that I've personally seen in terms of centre back. Yeah. To be honest with you, of the older generation of centre backs, my favourite was actually Daniel Agger. Do you remember him? Daniel Agger, the Danish one, number 5. He was the one that I liked. I'd put Agger first. I'd put Hipia maybe second. Controversial. I used to always get nervous whenever Skirtle played, but I like Daniel Agger and Hipia as well. James says controversial, but I'd play Kuyt as a right wing back like Munoz or Palace. To be honest, I was kind of thinking that. You know, earlier when I was thinking about positions, I did think about right wing back, but so to be fair, it's perhaps not too controversial. I think I see the logic behind it. So you think his qualities would kind of be best used getting up and down the pitch, tracking back, linking up play. I can see it. I can see the logic behind it. My only slight concern would be like, was his crossing ability all that good? But I appreciate it's not you can't be amazing at absolutely everything. But I see the logic. I see the logic behind what you say. Taste the Tester says you guys need another Robbie Fowler. I wouldn't mind that. Can't lie. Well, hopefully the guy who's got his shirt now can show similarly good levels of finishing. Was it Paul? Was it Hippier biggest out of all of them except Van Dijk? Fair enough. I would put Van Dijk in number one. I'm a bit too young to have seen Alan Hansen. But if I had to cut, yeah, I would put. In terms of what they did for the team, like I'd probably put Van Dijk 1, Hippier 2nd, Carragher 3rd, Daniel Agger 4th. But I just personally just liked Daniel Agger. Yeah, Daniel Agger was class. Yeah, did you remember that long shot goal that he scored? Like he took a shot from like 40 yards out and he hit it top corner. Yeah, that's one of my kind of favorite memories. Yellow says who would win, Goku or Van Dijk? It depends on Goku's form. I think Van Dijk would beat Goku in base form. But Super Saiyan Goku might be a bit of a challenge for Van Dijk. Ikram says totally right. Jibril Cisse, yeah, he was good. Jibril Cisse, love talking about old players, yeah. I remember they signed Jibril Cisse. Was it £14 million? £14 million from Auxerre. It's crazy like how we like remember like all these old players from 20 years ago, and not just that they existed, but we also remember like how much they cost and like which team they were bought from. But yeah, like Jibril Cisse, super excited for him. Unfortunately, got those injuries, but scored in the FA Cup final, I think, versus West Ham 2006. So yeah, he was he was good. He was up there. He was certainly up there. Jonathan says, do you agree with me? Yeah, no, I hadn't really thought about it much, but thinking about it now, I do think there's validity behind kind of what you were saying. Aga had a great left foot, had a lot of potential. Yeah, had a lot of potential. Was he 3.5 million? How sad is it? I think that might be correct. I think he was 3.5 million. Was he from Brøndby? Yeah, Aga was good. I like Daniel Agger. Yeah, you also love Daniel Agger, yeah. To a certain degree, it felt like Daniel Agger was a bit kind of ahead of his time. Like he was, because back in the day, most centre-backs didn't feel like kind of ball-playing centre-backs, which is kind of what made Rio Ferdinand, I think, a unicorn to a certain degree. And I think Agger was more in that mould of being like, he's a defender, but he's also very good with his feet. Snus says, high line for life, mate. You know, it's funny. You know when I saw Ange, go to Nottingham Forest, that's the first thing I said. The first thing I said, like, high line for life, mate. Get off the pitch, mate. SH says, I remember Carragher's last game. Yeah, he almost scored a Daniel Agger type of goal. And I think did he hit the post? Did he hit the post or something? But yeah, he was unlucky. Yeah, Milan Barros is another good one. I don't remember where we signed him from. Probably a Czech team, but yeah. Barras was decent. Him wearing the number 5 was a bit weird, like number 5 for a striker. But other than that, he was quite decent. Taster Tester says, if you could take 2 players from the top 6, the original top 6 from the Premier League, who would you put? As in take 2 players to put in the cut. As in to put into the current Liverpool team. I'd want a centre back at the very least. And in terms of centre back options, probably Rio Ferdinand, even though I find him extremely irritating and I find all his takes very annoying. But as a footballer, I think probably Rio Ferdinand. I would rank him above John Terry. Left back, maybe Ashley Cole, maybe. Ashley Cole would be a good shout. All right, so you're saying to build like an entire team out of the original top 6. I'd have to kind of think about that. We might need to do like a separate stream just on that, and collectively come towards a consensus. Jonathan says, "How you like my friend Shadow Guy?" I really like Shadow Guy. I mean, he was making very valid points. I mean, I need to see more. I need to see more of Shadow Guy. To be fair, I'm not even joking. Like you when you're on YouTube, you say more logical things than when you go to Twitch. And then so I'm like, yeah, more a Shadow Guy. Murillo, Milinkovic, and Highline, mate. Yeah, get back, mate. Get back. Those guys are going to struggle to get back. Oh my God, Andreo Dassina. What I found weird about him was that he's a left back and he wore number 2. And I'm like, number 2 is right back, not left back. But I think he scored against Man United. So he'll always be a legend for that. And maybe am I like slightly turning into Dassina with the beard and the hair? Maybe. Judge Mo thinks Inter will beat Liverpool at home. They always think this beforehand, and then after the game, it's the referee's fault or it's a conspiracy. There's never like a happy medium where people will admit that they were wrong about something. It's we're gonna win, and as soon as they don't win, suddenly it's a conspiracy. Suddenly it's the referee's fault, and suddenly it's the Prime Minister's fault. It's never, you know what? I was actually wrong. Liverpool are a good team. Getting too old. Yeah, I'm loving Shadow Guy. Like legitimately, you were making good points that I hadn't thought about. Zaim says Saliba. All right, Saliba and Rice. Okay, I see what you mean. Perhaps I kind of misunderstood. I was going too far back. But yeah, I think taking Saliba and Rice would significantly kind of weaken Arsenal. Taster Tester supports Arsenal, so he wouldn't be very happy about that. Who would you take from Man United? Probably nobody. Who would you take from Chelsea? I wouldn't mind Caicedo from Chelsea. Who would you take from Man City? Even though we don't need him, probably wouldn't mind Haaland. Wouldn't mind Reinders as well, as Snus can attest to. Not sure I'd take anyone from Spurs. Kieran loves his FPL. Got 24 points. So have a look what I got. I don't really play. I got 6 points. Hold on. I got 20. I didn't do bad. Come on. You got 24. I got 20. I'm quite happy with that. I have kind of no context and no indicator with respect to what's good versus what's bad. This is the first time I've played FPL in about 10 years. Oh, Juventus have just scored. Kelly has scored. I have no context with respect to what's good or what's bad. So, but if 20 is good, then if 24 is good, then 20 is also good. So says lol. Arsenal fans said 4-0 beating Liverpool at Anfield. Again, this is the thing. And it's symptomatic of every single club. But what I do not understand is before the game or at the start of the season, and it's not just an Arsenal thing, it's also a Man United thing. And to be fair, it's also a Liverpool thing to a certain degree. But Liverpool at least backed it up last season. But before the game, it's we're amazing, we're the best thing since sliced bread, nothing can stop us. And then they get stopped. But when they get stopped, they never credit the other team. It's always a conspiracy. It's always the referee or the referees are getting paid or some nonsense like that. It's like, look, just say, you know what? We were terrible. Gyökeres got Kieran Arsenal. Gyökeres got Kieran 12 points. Who got me my points? How do I see this? Points? Mark Gahey got me 6 and Konza got me 6. Marino got me 3. And Luca Dean got me 5. My heavy hitters are coming tomorrow though. My heavy hitters in Salah. Isak is there because he was cheap. João Pedro's coming tonight and Haaland tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully those get me a few points. I got confused. I walked away for a little bit and thought the game was still on. Alright, yeah. To be honest, I should probably... I mean, I wasn't really meaning to stay here for this, but like... And I don't... I probably won't stay here for this whole game. But like... Once that one was over, they just switched to... Oh, bollocks. They just switched to this Inter game. There we go. Snow says Isak will dunk on Inter. Yeah. Isak will dunk on them, as will Ekatike, and as will Rio Engamoa. Onana's gone to Trabzonspor. Kudos from Spuds. Are they called Spuds because they're like potatoes? Oh. Is there more reasoning behind that? Real Madrid, hold on, a win 2-1. Okay, so Real Madrid won 2-1 away from home against Sociedad. So Taster Testers was asking earlier which players would you want from each team, and he was like, okay, maybe I want these from Liverpool, maybe I want these from Chelsea, but with Man United, and speaking of, Mr. Default can always sense when this is coming. But to be fair, he said something positive. He said, I will take the Man United fans and leave the players in the stadium. To be fair, like, Man United fans can't be too upset about that because it's a compliment to Man United fans. Mr. Default's on 16 points. My first ever time playing it though. Yeah, I haven't played for about 10 years. You know, Pixel, who sometimes is in the chat, he asked me like 2-3 times to create a team, and I said, go on then. So I've not played. I'm saying 10 years, probably longer than that. But yeah, I'm just doing it for fun. Judge Mo is crying on stream because they've gone down to Juventus. To be fair, like it's only 17 minutes. It's all right. You can come back. Jonathan says, you like Shadow more than me, true or false? Well, since they're both your accounts, I can't say that. What I will say is, you were making very reasonable points when you were Shadow. SH's favorite player from last season? Yeah, Ryan Gravenberch. Same Ryan Gravenberch. Surprised me by kind of how he didn't just get into the team, but how he became a focal point of the team. Kieran hopes Pedro is not injured for Chelsea. Yeah, let's hope not, because he's in my team as well. Andre Arshavin was taste the test as legend player, making it 4-4 with the full celebration. Apparently, around that time, 9 months after that game, a lot of babies were born in London called Andre or something like that. Maguire will dunk Isak. Bayendia is starting in goal for us tomorrow, and then Bayendia will dunk himself. Unfortunately, what happened to the new guy? Simmons, something. You bought a new one, right? Who looks like Mason Mount. Is he going to be phased into the team? Kieran says, I need Liverpool clean sheet tomorrow and Ekatike goal. I would take that, because if it's a clean sheet and an Ekatike goal, that at the very least is a 1-0 win. What's your team name? Mine's Kinder Bueno. Okay. First I thought you said Kinder Bueno, but then Kinder Umbuemo. Okay, I see. That's quite intelligent. My team name's a bit lame. It's just Top Heavy FC. And the reason for that is called Top Heavy FC is because I just spent all my money on strikers. So I got Salah, I got Isak, I got Haaland, I got Petra, and then I just filled in the gaps. So that's why it's top heavy. Jonathan's going to play Pokemon Emerald. Very nice. I might start playing. I got a flight in a few weeks, so I've downloaded Pokemon to play. Pokemon Brown, which is like a mod of Pokemon Red that includes all the Pokemon and some extra Pokemon. But yeah, I hope that goes well. You'll have to tell me who you have in your team. Triple captain João Pedro. Hope he isn't injured. I've got him normally, but I hope he isn't injured. Ooh, Asaidi. Yeah, is another one. Asaidi. That whole you know how earlier we were talking about kind of obscure players. That whole generation of players, they were pretty much all obscure. So Asaidi is another one. Who else can I think of? Like Luis Alberto. He was weird. Alberto Riera. Who was that? Raul Meireles, number 4. He was a bit weird. Wonder if Garnacho will play tonight. Oh yeah, of course, he's at Chelsea now, isn't he? Yeah. Probably off the bench. But yeah, I'm excited to see how he does there. Cannot lie. Garcia, as in Luis Garcia. Obscure. I mean, he was certainly unknown. I remember when we signed him, and I was thinking, kind of, why have we signed this guy? This guy, who was, I think he was at Espanyol Barcelona. I was like, why on earth have we signed this guy? But to be fair, he turned out to be quite good. He picked number 49 for his shirt, the number he used when he graduated the academy. Oh, right, okay. Fair enough. He's perhaps going back to slightly more humble roots then. To be honest, that's probably a good thing. Like when they give players low numbers early on, when they give players high wages early on, it very rarely turns out well. So yeah, if he kind of focuses on the basics, then hopefully things go well for him. But anyway, I better go now. And part of the reason for that is I'm going to be here 5 hours tomorrow. Because it's Liverpool game. And then it's Man United, Man City. So yeah, I'm going to be here 5 hours tomorrow. So I better go now to do the stuff I need to do so that I can sit here for 5 hours tomorrow. Just finish some of these off. Origi, free agent still? If so, come back home. I think he's at Milan, and like a news story came out that he's refusing to terminate his contract, and I'm like, fair enough. If they're paying you, then then yeah, you don't feel like you have to terminate your contract. Your team is 3 legendary Huan legendaries. Are they the legendary birds? Is Huan is that the secondary? Is like Johto? No, there's Kanto is the first one. Then Johto is the second one. Is Huan that's the third one, right? The third area. Take care, Dawood. Hope you have a good afternoon and evening. Taste the Testers is ahead of all of us. Got 33 points, but that's probably because he has Yakarez up front. I would presume. But yeah, as I was saying, I better go now because I'm gonna be here for 5 hours tomorrow. So Liverpool game tomorrow, and then hopefully there's a bit of a break in between, so I can eat some pizza or something. And yeah, then the Man United game. Taste Testers is off. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Good night and keep well. You too, Taste the Testers. I am off as well. Take care. Jonathan, aka Shadow, aka Johnny, aka Football Fan, says it is the 3. I have to level up Matagross. I don't know who Matagross is. Is that one of the legendary birds? What I will say before I go, I think the old Pokemon games are a lot better than the newer ones. The newer ones they're just too fancy. I prefer the older ones. More simple, more to the point. But anyway, as I said, I better go. I'll be back tomorrow, Liverpool game, and then hopefully I have time to eat some pizza, and then the Man United game. There we go. Ending on a positive. Jonathan agrees with me that the old Pokemon games were better because they were more to the point. No fancy business. But yeah, I shall now depart, but I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.